Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sports Week. Steve Foxcroft in, well, it's the air chair, but I'm in the kitchen. It's the COVID continuing edition of Sports Week, and we're doing it once again at home. And this week, we span the globe, right, to find you the best guests. We've done it again this week. Rob Spehar is joining us, and Rob wears many hats. But welcome, Rob.
Hi, how are you?
So I'm in the kitchen. Where are you?
I'm at home in my bedroom.
Okay. Well, we're all set up. We're doing our thing. So we want to talk about a lot of the things you're involved with. Right off the hop, the NFL has started, and you do some NFL stuff. You do a show on TSN radio, right?
Yes, I do. TSN 1150 in Hamilton. This is going to be the third year doing it. It's going to be all done by Zoom. So it's going to be a new thing.
You'll be back in the bedroom.
Exactly, pretty much. And that kicks off October 18th, Sunday, okay. 12 noon, leading into kickoff.
Okay, so the obvious question for all the viewers, they want to know, who's your NFL team?
Put me on the spot, huh? Number one, I bleed the orange. I'm a Denver Bronco fan. And number two, because, I talk about them on the radio, Buffalo Bills, number two.
All right. Well, we like that. I got my Jim Kelly. This shoulder. I got my Jim Kelly going here, so we like hearing that. And when I started on the chain crew, actually, I wasn't a Bills fan, but over the years, when you're close and you want to see them do well, and then through the Flutie years and all that, it was fun.
It's been a trying time for Bills Mafia, that's for sure.
That's right. There's been a lot of tables. So the other thing you're involved in, and I want to talk about this more, obviously, but we can get back to football if we have time at the end, but Hudson Athletic Recruiting.
Yep.
It's a company that you're involved with, and it's special to us, and I want to talk to you about it because over 30 years, we've done and concentrated a lot on high school sports. We've covered games. We've covered all kinds of stuff. Bubba and I, when we used to do the show, we would predict who would win the high school football games. We'd cover the games live. We had phone-in shows. We had everybody going crazy. We even had Bubba go out to a few practices and do the Tunnel of Love a few times, and he got demolished, and I kind of loved it. So, but you're involved in that stuff too through this Hudson Athletic Recruiting. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's a company that's based out in Burlington. It was founded in 2018 by a gentleman by the name of Dwight Hudson, and he's got extensive experience working with NCAA. He's worked with a company called the College Prospects of America, and he's fine-tuned the U.S. process to support the Canadian athletes. Okay, so essentially, what the company's goal is to identify the elite student athletes with aspirations of playing NCAA sports, youth sports, Canadian collegiate athletics, and achieve their educational goals as well under scholarship programs.
Okay, so when you say elite, define elite, because are we talking the cream of the crop? Are we talking, because you also are kind of marketing to all these, you said youth sports, Canadian collegiate, so on and so forth. So tell me about elite. Like if I'm sitting here listening tonight, I'm in grade 10 or 11, and I think I'm pretty good. How good do I have to be?
Well, essentially what we're looking for is student athletes who have really good marks, good yearly averages, and they are performing at an elite level on the field, on the court, on the golf course, or whatever sport they're playing. That's what we're looking for.
And what sport do you have the most clients with?
Myself or the company?
Yeah, the company.
The company, it's mostly hockey. There's a lot of hockey and actually soccer out west. We're dabbling into football and baseball in the Ontario area. And in Quebec, we're looking into basketball.
What do you specialize in?
I specialize in golf, baseball, and football.
Okay. So are you a golfer yourself too?
I like to call myself a golfer.
Yeah. What's your handicap?
Bad.
Yeah, okay. So
I can swing a ball, I can make contact, and it goes forward. That's all that matters to me.
What's your favorite local course?
My favorite local course? I got to say it's Kings Forest.
Okay, yeah.
Kings Forest Golf Club. It was 10 minutes from where I grew up, and it's one of the longest courses in Canada, and it's pretty challenging. It's a very
I agree.
Course. Yeah.
When it's watered and in good shape, like it's second to none, right? Sometimes it gets midsummer, it gets a little hard and bouncing off the escarpment and everything.
Just a wee bit, yeah. It can get a little bouncy.
It's challenging, that's for sure.
For sure.
So you do those sports mostly, I guess, because that's your specialty.
Yep.
So tell me the process. How do you go about doing your job to help out the student athlete?
So what we do, or what I would do initially, is I would look for a specific sport, specific league. I would reach out to that coach. I would either email them or give them a call and just ask, or tell them who I am, what I'm looking for, and if there are any potential elite student athletes that check off our boxes that they can see that can reach that next level, and they're showing that passion to make the necessary sacrifices needed to reach that next level.
Tell me about the sacrifices. What are you looking for specifically for a kid? I think some of us know that, but I want to hear it from you in terms of how you would identify the kid who may have it.
Well, you got to go to all the practices. You got to go to all the games. You got to obviously study hard. You got to make sure you maintain your grade average. Um, and a lot of kids, 9 and 10, they start getting to the parties. They get into those kind of things. A lot of distractions. They got to cut those out because it could be distracting. And next thing you know, their grades start sliding, and that's where we come in. We would keep checking in with them and asking, okay, you came in with an 85, all of a sudden it's an 80. What's going on? If you want to get into where you want to go, you got to focus. You got to get that back up.
Do you work with the parents too, the coaches, just the athlete? How do you do that? Like, say you have an instance like that. Who do you reach out to first, or do you then go further if you need to, if you feel you
Well,
need to?
we work with all of them, but we like to work with the coaches first. We
Okay.
like to develop that relationship. It's not just a one-off. We want to have an ongoing relationship. So if there is a student that they feel that can reach that next level, I would ask them, okay, can I get in contact with the parents? So I get either their phone number or the email, reach out to them, say, okay, listen, I'm with Hudson Athletic Recruiting. Your coach said that your son or daughter can reach the next level. I'd like to talk to you a little bit more about that.
Okay. Um, with COVID, is that going to help you or hurt you? Because obviously the sports in the schools is suspended right now. I could see where it could be both. It could help you and hurt you providing the service. It may even make you more critical. But then on the other hand, you don't have game film. You don't have, the kid's kind of spinning his wheels a little bit. So how are you guys viewing COVID right now?
Well, COVID has been one heck of a challenge. It has helped us, as you said, since all this started back in March. We've been inundated with calls and emails constantly about what can we do, what do we offer. Okay, and it's hurt us because yeah, we can't get out to the games where there's all these sports have been canceled. Luckily, I've been for the last month and a half to 2 months. I've been out at some baseball games for Fergie Jenkins Showcase League. They play in different bubbles, and I've got to develop some good relationship with different coaches. And I've been out there constantly talking to coaches, talking to parents, talking to the boys, and just making sure and letting people know that just because COVID's happening right now, don't give out. Like it's not the end.
Mhm.
I've spoken to students where they've just given up. I said, no, I can't do this anymore. And it's like, don't. There are options for you. That's where we come in. We can help you. Video aspect, yeah, it's a key thing. It's one of the things that we offer in our services. And we have the connections. The owner of the company has the connections that he can send all this stuff out to those coaches. A lot of U.S. scouts are not able to come up here into Canada for the quarantine reasons. So that's where we benefit.
You mentioned the hockey aspect earlier too. From what we know, our director Brad Scott and I go down. We do a lot of "Where Are They Now" features, which is kind of like the end unit of what you guys have done, because we go down and catch up with kids who grew up in our area but have ended up at school down in the States. So some of them probably maybe through you or whatever. But what we've noticed too is some of the hockey schools down there are schools like there's the ones you've heard of. There's Cornell. but then there's some you haven't heard of, and it's still a great environment. They get thousands of people at the games. The kids get a good education. In some cases, it's not too far, so parents can travel in a normal world, and
Yeah.
so on. Um, is that a lot of the placements that you guys get, or do you far reach?
We far reach both in the United States and Canada. Of course, everybody's going to have that dream, playing football at LSU or Alabama, or
Mhm.
playing all these top notch schools in Dakota for hockey. What we strive for is for the student athlete to get a good education and play the sport that they're passionate about. So if you were to go to that Division One like LSU, I was just saying, yeah, you could luckily see the practice field, but we want to make sure that you play. We want to make sure that you are able to get on that field, perform, and get a good education at the exact same time. So we broaden our search for these student athletes. So it's going to be in the NCAA. It's going to be in junior college. It's going to be Canadian collegiate. It's going to be youth sports. It's going to be all over the place.
I would think that one of the things that you could do to help a kid and a family is identify that right off the bat. What you just mentioned is, I think, important, and I see it a lot where kids go down there, they get a scholarship, so they go.
Yep.
And it's not for that. It's different in the States, especially than in Canada, unless you're at some weird, goofy level in Canada. But I think a lot of them, they go down there, and the coach is nice as pie to them during the recruitment. But at the first practice, they make it quite clear that they own them. And I think a lot of the Canadian kids get surprised by that. I would think that one of the services or one of the benefits of going through you guys is helping to weed that out and help a kid make that first choice the correct choice. So it's 4 or 5 years.
Right. Oh, absolutely. So when we sign on a student athlete, essentially we build a profile. Okay, so they originally in their minds they have already a list of schools that they want to attend. So based on where they want to go, on their academics, what they want to major in, where they want to go, either in the States or Canada, we build a list of schools as well. So on top of their list, we add ours, and then we send all that information out to as many coaches as possible. So the head office gets inundated with calls and emails saying, "Do you have a center or forward, or you have a power forward, a point guard, or a first baseman?" We look through our database. Yeah, we got one right here, and we send it all the information, the video, if it's part of it, the brochure, their stats, their grades. That all goes to that coach for that school.
I love hearing that. Actually, I never thought of that. Is like schools recruit by their needs, and why try to send someone somewhere where they have a guy that's going to be all pro or something ahead of you, where, like you said, you're not going to see the practice field or the playing field.
Exactly.
So identify that and don't go somewhere where they don't need you. So I like the sounds of that. What about this? Helping kids understand. So everyone, kids, we grow up, we think, I want to get a scholarship, go play in the States, boom, I'm taken care of. But explain this. There is different levels of scholarships or financial aid, correct? Like,
Yes.
you
Yeah. There.
don't necessarily get a scholarship and be all in. Your everything's covered, even your meatball sandwich, everything. Like, it's different levels of that, isn't it?
There's a lot of different levels. Each level of school, so NCAA, there's three divisions, right? So
Hmm.
Division One, Division Two, they offer full ride athletic and academic scholarships. Division Three does not offer athletic scholarships, but they offer academic, right? So and within Canada, Ontario, they don't offer full ride athletic scholarships. They will offer what's called financial awards. So a certain amount can be put towards the students' tuition fees every year. There's
Right.
provinces that offer different things. Well, even though they're not offering, like Ontario's not offering athletic scholarships, they do offer academic scholarships, right? So
Mhm.
there's a lot of different options that are out there to these student athletes, and there's a lot of questions that are being asked, but they're not being voiced. So we want to make sure that everybody gets informed and they can make an informed decision.